Hello, everybody. How you doing? This is Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, America's #1 dispatcher and freight broker training. Today, we want to do some free training Q&A on the dispatcher side. If you have any questions, I'll come in and provide some good answers, some content for you. Come on in. I know it's Sunday, 5:36 Eastern Standard Time. Come on. Let me share my screen. See what's going on here. All right. There we go. So 25% off, but that's not what I want to share. I want to share the portal. There we go. There we go. Dispatch training. Check out our portal. All the tools and content that we have available for you. Okay. Free training. Come on in. Give you time. People coming in. Independent dispatchers. Those who are looking for truckers, looking to market their business, looking to get some information about being a dispatcher, about handling, well, not handling, but talking with the freight brokers in a professional manner, how to get their paperwork and businesses set up, how to get the carriers under a dispatcher agreement, a dispatcher contract, how to move freight, how to understand the load boards, and how to keep the carriers running, and how to generate that as a business, right? So this is the Dispatcher channel. Welcome, everyone. This is Sunday afternoon, early evening, about 20 minutes to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some of you may be with your families, which is fine, but free training tonight. I figure I'll do at least maybe 30 minutes, if not an hour, to do Q&A for someone who's on the fence about being a independent freight dispatcher. The situation with the tariffs, current events, I'm not sure what the status of that is as far as the Trump administration is concerned, and the lifting of the tariffs and the amount of tariffs being charged to us for exporting our goods and for foreign countries importing their goods into our country, and the balancing act that's being played by the government. So that is a thing that's going on right now. It is causing a congestion. It is causing a backlog of freight, but freight still needs to get delivered. Some freight is being held and stored. The containers are probably being held up at container freight stations. But once everything is released, there's going to be an influx and a demand for those goods to be delivered sooner than later, right? So, but free training, Q&A. So ask your question. Questions. Waiting on people to come in to see what kind of questions you may have. And I've been playing with some AI technology. So, excuse me. I've been playing with some AI technology, pardon me, when it comes to dispatching. So we're working on that as well. But so I'll give it about 5 more minutes to see if someone comes in to do a Q&A for you, and go from there. But what you see on the screen now is the Exodus Logistics Learning Center's Dispatcher 101 training for beginners back office member portal for the 90-day self-paced enrolled members of the trainings, and all that you get with that. Okay. So these buttons here, you navigate through this module here, or the self-paced training module. The building in the backdrop is the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, where we do our trainings. Orientation. Basically, orientation says, hey, welcome to the Exodus Logistics Learning Center. That's the video here. Welcome to the Exodus Logistics Learning Center. Thank you for choosing us as your premier training provider in transportation from a dispatcher's perspective. It is also here where you download your 3 free ebooks and your glossary of terms to kind of get you started. Okay. And then you move on to the next business setup, which is in the back office here too. How do you set up your business? What advice do we have for you in setting up your business? Business setup, business plan, resource links, and business templates. Now, these are all buttons. You can push them and it'll go to the areas of where you need to go. Okay. How do you set up your business? Free LLC, busy.com. Come up with a business name, an entity, or a legal structure. Whether that's sole proprietor, general partnership, C corporation, S corporation, limited liability company, and other things. EIN, business license, business plan. Okay. So that's in the business setup section of the portal. Okay. Business plan, resource links, business templates. We have them all here. Okay. And here's our resources links. These are all links. These are hyperlinks that goes to a website. You want to set your company up. There's different ones: InkFile, LegalZoom, Zen Business. You've heard of some of these, right? So if you don't have an idea of how that's done, we kind of give you a guidance in that. Let's go back to the main menu. So that was those 2 sections there. Once you get past that, which is pretty self-explanatory, then we'll get into the self-paced modules. And remember, this is self-paced for 90 days. You have 90 days to go in here anytime you want, 3 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, right? So in here, module 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 main modules. Each module contains its own quiz. You get a certificate of that quiz, and then you have a final exam across all 4 modules. All of that is over here at the exam center. This is supplemental material for you. So it's the miscellaneous, as well as the tools, docs, and resources. So the tools, docs, and resources will be used in conjunction with the modules supporting documentation. Okay. So module 1. You can't be a dispatcher until you have a carrier to dispatch for, right? So we speak about the documents you need, the dispatcher packet, the carrier onboarding docs. So the dispatcher packet and the carrier onboard docs are 2 different sets of documents. The dispatcher packet contains 3 documents, namely the dispatcher agreement, the carrier's profile, and the limited power of attorney. The carrier onboard docs, those are the documents that you as an independent dispatch company would need to have copies of from your carrier or the person that you're dispatching for. You would need a copy of, and you tell me if it makes sense, their authority, right? You need a copy of their MC authority certificate. You need a copy of their W-9 and a copy of their certificate of insurance. This is a way for you to vet and to make sure that they are who they say they are in your eyes as a dispatcher. You don't want to go to a broker and try to book a load for your carrier, and the broker says we can't give that load to them because they don't have the authority to move that load, right? To move that freight for our customer, right? And prior to you going to a broker, you, the dispatch service, would have done your vetting homework to get that person set up. with your company, approved, right? And we show you how to do that as well. Also in the module 1, how to get carriers, we go into the 3 major equipment types and the specialty equipment. The 3 major equipment types being the 53-foot dry van, 53-foot reefer or refrigerated trailer, and then the 48 or 53-foot flatbeds. Okay. The specialties are the other types. There's a lot of them, but the ones that are common are the box trucks, the hot shots, sprinter vans, cargo vans, and what I call a hybrid, which is power only. Okay. Then we get into, well, once you decide a type of carrier you want to get and you have your documents in place, at least these, and you need copies of these to carry your onboard documents, you got to figure out what are some of the methods that you want to do to get a carrier, right? So cold calls, visiting truck stops, emails, texts, social media, networking, word of mouth, several processes. Okay. And then find carriers on Safer website. There's a registry back there that lists the carriers who are just applying for their authority, as well as those who already have their authority. Okay. And we have our module 1 resources and the module 1 quiz. What are module 1 resources? Let's go down here. Okay, there we go. Equipment types and cold call script. Okay, the list of equipment types. Share that tab. The list of equipment types. And that's a long list, so it's abbreviated, so you'll be able to identify what the equipment types are. All right. And it looks like it's in alphabetical order. All right. So that's module 1. Let's go to module 2. Module 2 gets into software that you need in order to book loads for your carrier, right? Load boards. That's the software. We give access to 4 different load boards. We talk about what is a load board, how to navigate. We have a promotion going with 123 load board, which is one of the top 3 load boards out here, whereby as a dispatch service, a dispatch company, you can subscribe for 30 days for free to 123 load board. And then after 30 days, you can decide to purchase one of their subscription types, standard, premium, or premium plus, without being required to have an MC number. That is the deal, promotion. Okay. And then we have content and the quiz. So that's module 2. Let's go down to module 2 quiz, all the content. Third module gets into booking the load. Okay. Book the load. How do you do that? Once you find a load, once you get a carrier, once you set your business up, get a carrier, find a load with the broker, you call that broker and you go through the booking load process. So we got the carrier packs, the carrier documents. The carrier packets are what the broker sends to you, the dispatcher, for your carrier to get set up with. Okay. The broker carrier agreement, things like that. The rate confirmation is the second part of the onboarding process between the broker and your carrier, by way of you, the dispatcher, assisting, right, on behalf of your carrier. And we show you that process. We've done plenty of examples of that. Carrier documents that the brokers need, those carrier documents are the same documents that you got copies of from the carrier when you had set them up between you and that carrier for dispatching, right? Which are the MC authority letter, the certificate of insurance, and the W-9. Okay. And then we have the module 3 quiz. Module 4, I believe, does not have a quiz because it just talks about simply invoicing, not invoicing from the carrier's perspective to get paid by the broker or the factoring company or the shipper, but invoicing from the perspective of you, the dispatcher, invoicing the carrier for your services of dispatching for them. That's the perspective we're speaking about. Okay? So that's module 4. And we talk about different invoicing, PayPal, Square, talk about a BOL, things of that nature. So that is the 4 modules, the self-paced modules. You have 90 days to go through those and, get them down to a science. In addition to that, and supplemental to it, I should say, is the tools, docs, and resources, forms, and documents. These are templates that are used as guides to help you create your documents, your dispatcher packet, which again, dispatcher agreement, carrier profile, limited power of attorney. And then those are templates for you to download and update because I have them in Word format so you can recreate them using our format. The carrier's onboarding documents are viewing purposes only. You can download them, but to see what they look like, what does a carrier's MC authority looks like? What does a carrier's certificate of insurance look like? W-9. And then there's some other documents that are supplemental if the carrier has a factoring company. Okay. And we got the brokers onboard documents. So when you're getting your carrier set up and onboarded and approved to move brokered loads, if that carrier's MC or that authority number is not an approved authority already with that brokerage, then you would need to go through that process, that broker carrier agreement, right? That's the first step to get set up with the broker and approved. The broker is going to vet that carrier to see what they, how they are and what qualifies them, right? And then rate confirmations. The purpose of the rate confirmation is for the carrier to decide if they're going to take that load and at what rate. The broker sends that. If the broker and the carrier agrees upon a rate on the posted load, the broker will send a rate confirmation for that carrier or their dispatcher to sign, officially booking that load. Okay. That is the rate confirmation. Right. And then miscellaneous docs, just supplemental documents to help you, like a load details, cheat sheet, accessorial policies, equipment type, 3 equipment type carrier profiles, templates, dispatcher one-on-one outline, role of a dispatcher, workflow of a dispatcher. These are pretty helpful. Dispatcher flyer template, equipment types. The list goes on and on. We have a screenshot of an NOA, which is a notice of assignment between that factoring company and that broker. Okay. And then we have a list of brokers who work with new MC authority carriers. So this is all in the back office under tools, docs, resources, under the forms and documents button. And now I'm not going to go through each and every one, but just to kind of give you, we have how-to videos, tools, tools and resources. Every Zoom call we do in our trainings is recorded, and we store that in our training videos library. And we group it or index it by the month that we recorded the video in. So that's there, January. So if you ever want to see a video, you just click on that and it scrolls down to the location. We have hundreds and hundreds of recorded videos in here from different training sessions that are very good. That'll help reinforce the learning curve for you. Okay. That's the training videos library. Our live Zoom calls are every second and fourth week of each month, and we put up a Zoom calendar showing that. Okay. So that's the Zoom calendar, second and fourth week. And let me go back to the training videos library because I don't think you guys get a chance to see that tab there. training videos library, where we show you hundreds and hundreds of videos back there that are recorded from past Zoom training since 2019. Okay, so, and then we'll go to our Zoom calendar that shows the schedule, so you'll know when our trainings are. Our next training for this Dispatcher 101 training for beginners will be July 20th, this coming Sunday, not today, but the next week. Okay, and then so our dispatcher trainings are usually Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, and Saturdays at 12 noon Eastern. Okay, every second and fourth week. All right, just so you have that information. And outside of the you access that Zoom calendar in the back office, but you can get to it outside of if you don't have access, if you're not a student who don't have access to the back office portal with an email and password, you can get to it from here. From the home page, you just simply hover your mouse over the Dispatcher 101 header, and then the first link under that is Zoom calendar. So you get the same result. Okay. There. All right. So let's go back to the portal. I think that's it. Just giving you kind of a high level tour of it and seeing if you had any questions, but it doesn't appear to be any questions. So on that note, we will end this and hope to see you in the trainings and be able to educate you on how to become an independent freight dispatcher. Thank you.